goes, that's my only hope with this Litecoin. If it goes to $600, then I'll turn on my miners again. And you know what? It very well could do that easily.
That would be great.
So where did you were off the net for a while, Mr. Ant? Okay, you were just off the net for a while. Okay, well, I hope the penitentiary wasn't that bad. Or wherever you were upriver, you couldn't get on the internet.
Either of that, or it was surf season in Australia.
Oh boy, surfers here. You know what? I got my son into. He's in his second day of sailboating class today. So.
Is that right? That'd be good. That'd be an interesting thing to learn.
Yeah. And he showed up yesterday from class to show me how to tie a square knot, because they started showing him how to tie knots, and I'm like, well, that doesn't look like any knot that I'm familiar with. It's definitely not a square knot. And I told him, I said, you know what? Kind of the first rule of knots is, if you're not able to untie it as easily as you were able to tie it, it's probably not a proper knot. So I had to show him how to, and I'm sure the person that showed him to do it, he learned it exactly the way that person showed it to him.
Right.
Well, I think the junior instructor showed him how to do it wrong, because there's like last year's student is helping, and I think that 13 or 14-year-old just didn't know how to tie a square knot, and he's showing my kid how to do a wrong knot.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Well, they need to keep
What's NBN mean, Mr. Ant? You said NBN, internet was bad. NBN, I don't know what NBN is.
No, I don't know. Can't think. No.
Jay, you're good. Jay, hold on, Jay. Jay, look at what Jay wrote here. This is kind of throwing me off. Use a version of square knot to tie your shoes. It works better. That's what the knot my son was showing me looked like. It was the first part of tying your shoe, and then you pull it, and then you do the second part of tying your shoe again, and you pull that again. It just didn't, but the knot wasn't right. I mean, when you do it the right way, it just comes out really proper. Man, Bitcoin's going to hit 12,000 here. Holy smokes. Okay, I think I'm ready to get to this watch. So, hey, you know what, Bud? You picked up
hello?
Things.
Fuck.
Hey, Clive, I can hear Clive on there.
Goddamn shit.
Yeah, we hear you.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can totally hear you.
He left now.
Oh, no, he's there. We hear you clearly.
He was talking for a second.
Yeah.
You there now, Clive?
What's up, bitches?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Thought I'd jump here and join you guys.
All right, thank you. That's good. I'm glad we stalled. So I was just about to ask. Hey, first, let me ask you a question. Did you get you? You don't have to tell us what it is.
No, I did not. No, fucking no. Goddamn fucking no.
So it must have been a good situation.
Fuck.
Okay, and then so Bud, you've been wrangling some watches lately. What did you pick up here?
So I was just in New York last week, and I got the Batman, which I had originally traded away, and I traded away the Hulk this year, the Black GMT, and the Batman, and I never felt such a loss. So I got back the Batman, and I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with the Hulk, but I think the Hulk's going to get discontinued. So I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on that, but right now I got the Batman back, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Now, are we talking about the Batman or the Batgirl?
No, this is the Batman. Yeah. So yeah.
How long ago did you trade that in for your president?
I traded the Hulk and the Black GMT for the president back about 3 months ago.
Oh wow!
And then about a month later, I traded the Batman for the Daytona.
That was only a couple of months ago?
Well, I guess I don't know. The year's going by fast. I guess it happened like no, it was before Basel, so like it happened in
Oh,
March. Yeah,
gotcha.
but then both watches exploded after I did that. So
Right before the explosion. They
yeah,
were probably about 11.5 when you traded them.
right. I think I got like 10.5 for each one of them, and yeah, and then 10 or 11, something like that, and then they went to 13, 15. So yeah, I could have gave less money and still got the president if I'd have waited like a week or 2 weeks probably.
And you traded them in for a green dial platinum.
Sorry. Let me interrupt with one quick question. It's vitally important I do this.
Okay.
I'm jumping in this live stream blind. Is either one of you guys named Adrian?
No.
Okay, we're cool. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, it's just basically I when I got rid of them, and it's a green dial. It's the 60th anniversary. It's olive green, white gold president, and it's beautiful. But I guess I just kind of went from, wanting I got out of the sports watches, and I didn't realize how much I liked the sports watches. So
You know what I like about your president is that the green dial, the Romans on it, has the complete set of Romans. There isn't a hash mark at the 9 like
no,
there is on the Wimbledon. You actually have a 9 there.
there's actually a 9 there. Yeah. So it's a beautiful watch.
How many millimeter?
It's 40. It's
40.
yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it is. It's the perfect watch. It really is. But I just once I got rid of the sports watches, it was like, I don't know. I had to get one of them back at least. So I got the Batman.
Well, that was a good well, yeah, you didn't need a GMT and a Batman, but boy, I don't get why you traded both GMTs away, huh?
Yeah, it was just like one of them spur of the moment deals, and didn't really think about it too much. So, yes, it's just I get in just like you just did with when you bought them 2 watches. I get in them modes where in 2 or 3 weeks or in a month, I'll do 5 different deals, and then I'll stop for a while and chill out, and then I'll go back and do it again. So.
Now, Panzil says that the Date 840 is the way to go. He tried on a 36 millimeter this weekend, but it was a little too small. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I have a 7.25-inch wrist. I don't know about you guys, but it was good for a dress watch size, the 36 for me.
And did anybody ever think, like, before the 40s came out? I mean, I never looked at my Datejust 36 like it was too small. It always was fine on my wrist, and then all the bigger watches started coming out, and then I thought the Datejust felt small. But before that, I never noticed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, no one thought we needed air conditioning until someone invented it.
I guess that's true.
I'm falling in love with some of those old vintage watches, but they're just too small, so there's no way I can pull the trigger on them.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of 33 in them, the Genevas that you was looking at. So I looked at them. But I the 36, the Datejust 36 that I got, it's fine. I still wear that and I enjoy it a lot. So I don't think I've ever went smaller than that.
Actually, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not one of you high dollar date guys, but I really do like that Datejust 41.
And I've never tried on a Datejust 41, but I did have a 41. I had that Grand Seiko, Clive,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a 41, and that's it's a little bit bigger. I mean, it's you don't realize how much bigger it is, but it fit good, and I like the Grand Seiko, but I had $6,800 in that, and I felt like for $6,800 that I could be wearing a Rolex, I guess, and so that's why I sold that one. And now people's buying them left and right, so they'll probably go crazy in price as well.
Well, I'm due to get. Well, I've been. Is it just me, or does it seem like everyone's talking about Grand Seiko all of a sudden?
Yeah, what was the video I just saw? Someone did a video somewhere I read or saw in a video that.
Oh, you mean Bark and Jack about the GMT, the Grand Seiko GMT quartz?
No, did you see somewhere recently where it talked about the amount of sales in the United States and how much it's increased? Where did I see that?
I'm not a bit surprised. I mean, okay.
300% increase.
See, I've got like someone actually sent me, and this is just a fan of the channel,
yeah, you're wearing one, right?
Yeah, actually, it's Seiko's for losers. Oh,
what are you guys wearing?
Actually, I'm wearing my Datejust 41. I've got the with zero lume on it, white blue dial, white gold Romans.
I'm actually wearing my Apple Watch. I was getting ready to go to the gym, and when I got your text there, so I got that on right now. But yeah, I don't know, the Grand Seiko. If you remember, Clive done a review for me, and actually a bunch of people got on there and made some cute remarks about it. And now there's people buying them, and talking about them left and right. But the quality of the finish of the watch is really amazing. If you see them up close and you wear one, they get incredible finish quality.
I don't have a problem with the Seikos. I tease people online about them here and there. You got to poke some fun once in a while. What are you going to do? Be boring all the time? But
now, the one that I really like, is that new one that they brought out, but it's $13,000, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give.
Yeah, fuck that for a Grand Seiko. I'm sorry. Yeah, fuck that twice. I mean, hey, I really like Grand Seiko. Would you pay $15,000 for one? What, are you fucking high?
Yeah.
Which one is that? Which one is 13, 15? Which one?
It's a chrono. It's the lion one with the lion background. It's I don't know exactly what the number is on.
What's special about it that it costs twice as much as a normal snowflake?
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying, is that they haven't actually gave you a better quality watch. They're just they're just ramping up the price on you. So it's still got the same movement and everything, but it's just looks a little bit better, and they're just adding a lot of money to it.
Yeah.
So, and the one that I had was actually supposed to be a limited, and then they brought it out in a different reference number, but it's the same watch. So that's what pissed me off, and that's why I sold it.
Oh, by the way, I didn't realize you guys were on until I stumbled across it on the smart app on the TV. But I finally got around to watching the Gun Zap Watch Comedy video.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's amusing. I'll put it that way. I laughed a couple of times.
Well, what
about?
Now, someone loaned me actually a manual wine Grand Seiko, Japanese market. Okay, soiled baby gets wiped. SBGW 235. So it's a tad over 37 millimeters. Manual wine. Really,
what's the reference number on it?
SBGW 235. Soiled baby gets wiped.
And this is one that somebody's going to send this to you, and you're going to
try. I've been wearing it. I've been wearing it actually. I've had possession the last couple of weeks, and I have to say, I am really freaking. I'm just really impressed by it.
It's this one right here.
I'm not seeing anything. Yes, with the blue second hand.
So you're testing this one out here, huh?
Yeah.
I see here on the right-hand column it says the list price is $540,000.
Probably 540 thousand yen.
Yeah.
Now it's you can get them here. It's Japanese only, but there's a couple of importers you can get them here for 38 or 39.
It also says that it's resistant to 3 ATMs.
Like 50 meters, I think.
No ATMs, teller machines. Your money won't let you get the money out to buy it.
Now, laugh all you want to, but the quality, the fit and finish of that watch really hits above its price point.
Yeah, no, I sure.
So my AD, he obviously he sells Grand Seiko and Rolex, but he claims that if the Grand Seiko was Swiss, that they'd be a $15,000 watch, no problem.
Now you'll notice the one that Bud pulled up. So it's, well, I was noticing on my wrist. Then I think Archie was doing one about the 5296. The dial itself is very Calatrava-ish, I think, or the face of it is.
Right.
And also, it just the off-white is just really, really freaking attractive. It kind of looks kind of old and kind of new at the same time. If you like worked in a place where you might get watch shamed, you could just probably say, "Oh it was my grandfather's watch," and no one would question it.
Yeah, that's one thing. Their dials are amazing.
Oh my God, yeah, and that's one of their plain Janes.
Right, right. My one was the SPGA 387, and that was a crazy dial. It was a blue dial, and it was really a nice dial, and I got a lot of compliments on it.
What was the model number on that one? SPG what?
SPGA 387.
Might as well look at these when you're talking about them, so I learn
That's
something I don't
that's
know.
it right there.
You don't know what you want unless you see it.
So I had that was 6,800, and I sold it for 6,000. And the only reason why I think I got that is because
Is this a snowflake?
what is it?
Is this a snowflake?
It's a blue. It's some people call it the blue snowflake. This was a U.S. only steel edition of the 3 that came out. The gold one, the platinum one, and this is the steel one. And there was only this was a numbered edition, so this was number like 48, the one that I had. And anyway, I think the reason why I sold it for that because they only made 500 of them, but then they come out with another reference that looks a lot like it. And so basically, I thought before
So
it crashed, I thought
they Paneride your ass.
Yeah, and that pissed me off really because that's why I bought it because I thought it was one of 500 ever, and they redid it in a different reference. So, but it's a very pretty watch. It really is. And if you see that up close, the finishing quality is amazing. So
now, is the movement on that one decorated or not?
No, that's the spring drive. Oh yes, you can see it from behind. Yeah, it does have a decorated movement. It is beautiful. And so really, there's really no other reason for me to get rid of that watch other than it just wasn't. I didn't feel like the money was there, but. Maybe in 5 years it'll be a real classic name, and I wish I never got rid of it. But
well, the also the one I've got, so it doesn't. It's manual wind, so it doesn't have a screw down crown, which kind of makes sense when you think about it for manual wind. And there is 0 adjustments on the bracelet. If you want that sucker adjusted at all, you have to take links in and out. That's the only real qualm I've got about it. Other than that, I even love the bracelet. It is the Beats of Rice. It's very solid, but very comfortable as well.
And the other thing, the titanium on there, they said was scratch resistant, and that's what when I was watching Craig Ship, he was saying that his was scratch resistant. I did get scratches and swirls in that titanium, so I mean, they wasn't terrible, but there was scratches. So I don't think there's no such thing as scratch resistant
Titanium.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, someone was telling me just the same thing about. Well, they said the Japanese steel has more carbon than like European and American steel, so it's more scratch resistant. But I don't know if I'd bet the farm on it.
Yeah. No,
but for that one, I wish it was just if it was just 2 millimeters larger though. But
what is the one that you're wearing? 38.
37.2 or 37.3, I think.
Yeah,
it wears bigger because I don't think the bezel's very large at all on it. But I still wish just a little bit bigger size, and just give me some sort of freaking adjustment in the bracelet or the clasp or something. But I think at the price point for under $4,000, it just stomps the snot out of Rolex.
Yeah, definitely Tudor. So.
Oh, Tudor is not even it's not even close. But
yeah,
Especially if you compare that to like especially any sort of older Rolex date just, no comparison.
Yeah.
Even though technically it's a 3-hander, so it doesn't have a date complication, but
That's still the Seiko you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, their finish quality is they really are. You can't compare them to a lot of other stuff. So, but then again, an older date just is older, so it's kind of hard to make that comparison.
Yeah. Now, well, you know what? I'm really disappointed in the camera. Doesn't focus on the watch. I was looking at the stream I did last night, and there's really nothing I can do about showing the watch any clearer, is there? How do I improve my clarity? Do I have to buy a camera to plug in or something?
Probably.
I have no idea.
So what's so with your Speedmaster, Clive? I was interested in asking you, what's which one do you have? What's special about it? Can you tell us a little bit about your Speedmaster before I open up mine?
Well, which Speedmaster are you talking about?
The one that's that Archie brings up, the 321.
Yeah, because you keep in mind, I ended up with a bit of a collection one. I've got a 321, I've got an 861 with the double patina winner. I've got a Mark II, a Mark 4.5, and a Flightmaster. Flightmaster also has the 861 as well. The 321 is a, let me see, 105.012-66.
Yeah, that's the one we want to hear about.
No, it was the very last of the pre-moons. It was also one of the last references to,
so it's a 67.
Yes. Well, it was made in 67, but -66 is the reference number.
Sure.
And it's just really in exceptional shape. What happened to prior owner locally, they dented the hollow end link on the top, and I think just threw it in the drawer and never looked at it again.
They did what? They dented it on the top? What did you say?
Yeah, the top hollow end link.
Okay. And they just wanted to,
hit it on the door.
Sometimes people ding their watch and they want to get rid of it, right?
Yeah, and they just threw it in the door and never looked at it. So I literally took it to a watch place, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can bend that back real easy, $5." So the thing is, it's really, really, and truly exceptional shape. I've had people accuse me of it being a reproduction bezel insert, but no, it's original.
And what's the case back? On the case back, what kind of logo and texting is on
Seahorse?
The seahorse.
It's a pre-moon. So applied indice, dot over 90. Pi pan dial. So with your transitional one, now Dr. BBW has one, and this is quite a while back. He thought, well, the 321s, even a few years ago, were getting nuts. So he looked for yours, and he found a good price on yours, and he was quite happy. He's still quite happy with it.
Oh, okay, good. Gotcha. I'm looking for that table to bring up that here's that table right here. Let me see. To pull up yours on that table.
Let me see if I've got a picture of it.
60.
Fortunately.
So it's over here. Yours was a dash
105.012-66.
Right. So it would be right here. It probably has one of these serial numbers here, either a 23 or a 24 serial number, probably.
Right.
Yeah. And so mine came just after yours. Right.
Exactly.
So let me see.
Oh, jump here and find mine. No, I don't have one on this computer, unfortunately.
Yeah. don't know if I have a.
Well, let's see. Do I have the? Well, I've got the case. I mean, I've got the movement.
Oh, a picture of the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the movement. That's where the serial number was on those Omegas. Was on a movement, and I think it wasn't until 1970 that they started putting the serial number on the actual outside of the case.
Right.
Something else I was learning about when I was there's so many little details. I guess on they also changed the length of the hour markers on the minute track. Those are shorter now. So I'm looking at an article right here as we speak, and it says if you look closely, you will also discover that the hour markers are longer on the later references. They stop at the minute track on the older references. So that's a little difference that I didn't notice, that I probably wouldn't have noticed unless I read about it right now.
Well, yeah, and because I kind of hate to say I got real lucky because this 321 it came up less than a mile from the house from a watchsmith that I've known for a couple of years. But that's the sort of it's the vintage minefield. I mean, I went to the middle of the minefield, snatched up the 321, and walked back, and kept my legs, my feet, and my arms. But I think the vintage Speedmasters, it's almost like the 1680s. The super collectible ones, really big money involved, and you really especially have to know. You almost have to be a subject matter expert to not lose your ass on those things.
Right. Hey, how do I lock my screen so it doesn't switch off of me? Do you know?
Well, what happens is that do you see in the lower right-hand corner, it probably has you and then me and then Rich?
Yeah.
Or click where it says you.
And then present to everyone?
And that presents that, yeah. Rich Buddy is presenting to everybody.
There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's
But really, I think when it comes right down to it, I think any 861 Speedmaster, finding a good price on that one with tritium that hasn't been heavily molested is probably your best shot right now.
I was playing around with some of my watches today, and I'm really in love with this Universal Geneve. Tan, I picked up this Universal Geneve. It arrived yesterday, and let me see if I can present it. I thought of this might work if I try to check the background of the camera. Maybe it'll focus on the watch. Let's see. This is the Universal Geneve I picked up yesterday. I don't know if I can get it to focus. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a poor camera, I suppose. But when you look at the car in the background, or me, it's pretty sharp. So hey, whatever. I'll have to figure
it doesn't zero in too good, but yeah, when you look at the car, it looks fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'll try to improve that somehow. Oh, hey, look at that. I got polishing cloth.
Nice.
I don't even get that from Rolex. So this came from a collector's coins, jewelry, watches. So some kind of a jewelry shop.
Nice.
So, hey.
I actually got a polishing cloth when I got that 36 millimeter date, just the steel one. 16220.
And they gave me a card and their Instagram. All right, I didn't know they had an Instagram. I'll check them out. I'm going to have to throw them, hashtag them on my watch shots. All right, let's see this thing. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
That bezel is mint. I don't think I've ever really seen one of these, to be honest. It looks very clean. So
I'm trying to zoom in a little bit.
maybe if I
That is okay. That does well. It's a little blurry, but all the blurs appear to be uniform. It does looks like there's not a lot of damage on it at all.
no, it doesn't. Let me see. Maybe that'll work. See if I block the back out. Oh, how does that work? That's better, isn't it? If I block the background out and then back off a little bit.
Do you have a webcam or are you the one that comes in your computer?
Oh, check this out. I thought of something else too right now. Hold on. This is the reflection off the screen. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Hold on. I just turned the screen off. I can't. Maybe that works.
No.
No.
Not really. Sure is white though.
That's not. Anyway. Okay. Let me check it out. Let me inspect it here a minute. I can see the minute markers extend into the upper step. That's pretty cool. And the hand is the hand with the counterweight. You know, it's got is that what it's called? A counterweight? What's it called when it has a larger second hand rather than just a straight line? It's got a teardrop or a triangle on the second.
Yes.
On the long hand, the chronograph long hand, which they did away with that in the following
iteration.
There you go.
When they went to the 145.022, I think.
Boy, this thing looks this. You know what? I wasn't. The watch looks better aesthetically than I imagined. I don't think have I ever really seen a Speedmaster. I got to be honest. I'm not sure if I really have seen one other than behind a counter. I've never tried one on, and it looks better than what I expected.
Now Tanzil's saying Christian from he's saying Tristan from Leo and Ferris kept the bracelet and put it on a water damaged Speedy instead.
Oh. Yeah, I have no doubt. People who sell these, they piece out the ball, they piece out the case backs, they piece out the straps. They tear apart these things and ruin them, right?
I hope there's a special place in watch hell for those people.
Speaking of that, the guys that make the fake watches, those guys drive me crazy. That are on Craigslist with the fake watches. Is anybody else come across them? Those
all the time, but they're around here. They're usually pretty decent about saying replica or whatever, or Folex or whatever.
Yeah, they don't sell them as replicas though. They sell them as they try and make them a real watch and sell them, and yeah, that's a problem in Denver. I know that.
Now Tanzil's saying you probably source a period correct bracelet at Omega forums. Now Tanzil actually did me a solid because I sent him the picture of the movement. I actually sent that to Tanzil so he could send off the information. Now, if you want to get archive papers in the U.S., you have to take it to an Omega AD or boutique, and they have to send out. They have to take it apart, and then give you the watch back, and they send off for the archive papers.
That's how I do that. I have to go to the Omega boutique.
Yep.
So
Canada.
Am I paying for that? Am I getting a service?
Oh, yeah.
What am I doing?
Well, I think they're going to touch the watch, so you are going to pay for it.
Can you do?
How do I ensure? How do I ensure they're not going to?
Do you want me to go ahead and keep talking, or do you want to?
Go ahead.
Sorry, man, but let me just get the point out real quick. if you can get the back off and take a picture or something, if you've got a friend in Canada, they can send off for it, and they don't have to go through that bullshit in Canada. It's only here in the U.S. because our consumer protection laws suck. No, then, Rich, what was your question?
If you give it to Omega, or do you have to be scared that anybody's going to screw it up and change the dial or anything?
You shouldn't be scared. You should be very scared.
Yeah.
I would know if just make sure that swear on a stack of Bibles and have them sign something saying you will keep it here. You're not going to send it off, because one of the things I understand is if you ship it off to Omega, they will molest the fuck out of it.
Wow.
They will strip off all the training and say, "Oh, this is dangerous." And
I don't get that. I don't understand that.
What about an insurance appraisal? Is that kind of like Rolex does? Can they do an insurance appraisal there?
I don't even have an Omega dealer. I don't even have an Omega dealer in my state, so I can't tell you that for sure. You could probably get on the Omega forums.
Yeah, I know here they got the Omega dealers and do an insurance appraisal, but they do it right there at the store, and maybe it's just a big enough store, but yeah, I don't think they send it away, Rich.
I'm not into the strap, but I'll change the strap to something vintagey.
Now,
or I'll get the bracelet. I'm going to get the 1039 bracelet.
10-4 on the 1039. Now, if you don't mind me asking, how much?
9,000 even. Pretty good, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
I don't know. I'd have to look around and see. I'm ignorant, but I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised.
I haven't seen any. Oh wait! I did find one for 16,000. I found one for 16,000.
A transitional for 16. What the fuck?
No, wait, it wasn't. But, no, it wasn't. Wait, that was something else. Like somebody sent me one thinking it was, but it was the wrong. I think they sent me your watch. That was 16,000. Sound about right? 3, 2, 1.
It's hard to tell. I wouldn't be surprised. Now that sounds a little bit less surprising.
Look, I've seen watches that are not transitional, so they're less desired, with the painted logo, not dot over 90, and they're 9,000, same price as this. So I got.
Yeah, well, no, well, the thing is, you got the dot over 90, you've got the metal, you've got the applied logo. You're good.
Yeah,
that is a good looking watch.
People are paying 9,000 for without those extra collectible features on it.
Wow.
It's an extremely brilliant quality condition. I mean,
I'll look around and see if I can find a more recent picture of mine.
Well, here we have. I have pictures of it from. I have pictures of it.
Of whose?
Or if I go to.
I mean, I've got the blanket picture, but that doesn't show a lot of detail.
Photos, and it's right here.
You guys remember the blanket review, right?
Yep.
So here it is, right here. Oh yeah, the blanket review. I got to tell you, I did not see that for the life of me. I did not see that spelled out for the life of me at all.
So that's the back.
This is the watch that I have here in my hand.
Oh God, I enjoyed that one. It shames me to admit how much I enjoyed that.
Boy, right. The bezel is much narrower than I thought it was. It's a very narrow bezel, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And the thing is, on something like that, it's like, God, you really. Wait, no, I'm on. Okay, I need to get on the.
Do I wear this watch? Or is this a Safe Queen?
See, that's the trouble, and that's the problem I got with mine, because all you have to do is just nick that sucker and take out the dot over 90, and you're like hosed. Now here's my movement.
Let me pull up. Let me change the screen sharing thing. Let me see how I do this here. Hold on. Let's go to the stop and unlock it. Okay.
Can you guys see it?
Yes.
I haven't been able to see. Oh yeah, I see it.
Is it full screen on you now? It should be, I think.
And just in case you have any doubts about what movement it is, they kind of put that on there for you.
321. Yeah.
Yeah, on the 861, it doesn't say 861, does it?
Now, because it's almost saying, fuck it. But they are a little proud of that one.
That's beautiful. Nice. Very nice.
We was just looking at your dial there, Rich.
Sorry, we didn't interrupt your smoke break, did we?
No.
When
Cool.
we were just looking at your dial there, there's a little bit of cream on that dial. Is that the transitional, or it's changing color, or is that
on his or on mine?
On yours.
No, I just showed my movement, so it was obviously yours.
Yeah, yours. Am I just seeing that wrong? It showed like I seen some white and some
patina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up again.
That the patina on there?
Yeah, the yellow. Right.
That's what's making them so expensive, right?
Oh, it's slightly. I don't know if that's going to continue or it's frozen in time right there or not.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's barely visible. It's got a slight yellowish tint. I can't see it all too. It's not as visible as other vintage watches, but it's there.
So you got one ball one color and the other ball the other color.
Yeah, I got to tell you, to be honest, it's the watch is so small that you don't see all those differences.
When you're just sitting looking at it, it's not as obvious.
No, it's extremely tiny.
Yeah.
Much tinier than I expected. Very small. Daytona is the same size, right? 40 millimeter.
Well, I think isn't the Speedy 42, I think.
Hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the Daytona does. The Daytona wears very small, I think. I mean, it wears great. It fits nice on your wrist, but I think it wears smaller than the other watches. I guess it's thinner, I guess. So.
I'm looking on the ceramic, comparing the ceramic Daytona. The bezel's much bigger on the Daytona with a bigger legible read.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I wanted an Omega. I wasn't sure what I was going to get. I didn't really want.
If I was actually going to wear that watch outside, just wear it in a boot, as our Canadian friends would say, I would probably get a reproduction bezel insert and stick that instead, and have your original popped out and keep it in the safe.
There you go. That's a good idea.
I've seen those bezels selling for $2,300 on their own.
Yeah. Because literally, it's just basically painted, applied, on aluminum. So, all it takes is just just the proper glance off a door jamb or something like that, and
you'll be pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed pretty bad.
Yep. So, and of course, I got people text me when I'm on a live stream, and they know I'm on a live stream because, fuck.
So, are you done now, Rich, for a little bit, or is this?
Yeah, I think I think I'm done. You know, I still got that 5167 lined up with a deposit. So I think I've said before, the longer it takes for them to get that to me, probably the better. And same thing with the FP Journe, the Chronometra Blue. I don't have to worry about that one for about 4 or 5 years. So I got to put an end to it at some point here. I got to take a little bit of a break for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm still in the consolidation phase though.
You know, the sub date, somebody was supposed to buy that today. They fell through. So I have a sub date that I thought I was going to get rid of that was going to cover the price of the Speedmaster I just bought. But I'll try to get rid of that again, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a lot of trouble and effort.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not too much of a sales guy when it comes to watches. So, I mean, if anybody out here needs a ceramic sub date, we can figure out how to make that happen.
Okay. How old is it?
2012.
Okay. Has it been serviced or does it need a service?
I just got it back from a Rolex service, so it has a 2-year Rolex warranty.
Nice. How much are you asking for it?
I think 9,700 firm is where I think I'm at. This guy haggled me down to that price, and I think that's where I want to stay at after
What's
down.
So it's 9,700 firm. What's the MSRP on it?
8,550.
Tax is around 9,200.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, is that right or too much? I don't know.
Well,
you got to consider I have a 2-year Rolex warranty, so that adds.
And you can't get the fuckers. Yeah. But here's the trouble though. We're in the Archieverse. So no one just. It doesn't really matter if you get the watch that you really want. If it's a Grail, it doesn't count unless you literally get the lowest price in North America.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I sold mine last month and I got 9,500 for it, Rich.
95, okay.
Yeah, but I basically turned around and I bought the Redline Sea Dweller, that, and that was 12,000 with tax, basically 12,200 with tax. And
so I think I'm in line. 9,500. I got 97 with the warranty service.
I've seen guys here in Denver 12,000. 11,000. So I guess it depends on what part of the country you're in, I think.
Okay. Hey, Rich, can you go into your settings and boost Bud's volume a little bit?
Maybe if I boost Mike, can you hear me a little bit better?
Yeah, boost yours because I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Go to the far left. Click on the Hangout screen. You'll see like gears or something like that on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I got it.
And then click on that, and it'll say sound, and then you can like adjust a slider for each one of us, adjust up or down. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, it's not working for me, but
yeah, I'll try and speak into the speaker a little bit more. Whatever the deal is, I haven't been able, just so everybody knows, I haven't been able to see the live stream comments or anything like that. So I've just been basically talking to you two guys. So I'm not ignoring nobody else.
Tanzil says he's told me this before too, that the Chronometra Blue isn't as hard to get. He says he knows to a guy who got it in 6 months. Yeah, you know, I honestly can't afford to get it that quick anyway. So it's one of those watches that I anticipated. So basically a year ago when I put myself on the wait list, I anticipated that it would be a watch that was going to be very well coveted and wanted and desired and probably hard to get and discontinued. And so a year ago when I thought that, I put myself on the wait list. I guess I turned out to be right. And then I figured it's a watch I can afford maybe 4 or 5 years down the line when that wait list turn comes up.
And is there any guarantee on them? Like,
No.
No.
On getting it? No. As a matter of fact, they I understand that they canceled 3/4 of the wait lists around the country for that watch. But
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, I just didn't know whether or not you was guaranteed it or put money down on it.
Well, on the other hand,
You
it
know,
seems like it kind of seems like we're in line. We're all chasing the same things.
well, 2 days ago, I got a call from my AD, and he told me this whole 20-minute spiel about how it's going to take them 9 months to get a Pepsi, and they've got 30 years worth of customers that's in front of me, and I've only bought several watches, but oh, by the way, I just went back into the shipping room, and there's a red sea dweller sitting there. So every month it seems like I get a different story nowadays. There is no wait list. The wait lists are full of people that's been customers for years. It just seems to change monthly now.
Well, it's just different levels of country, quite frankly.
Yeah.
yeah, now you've bought how many Rolexes from your AD that you're trying to get that Pepsi from, bud?
5. And so, yeah, I'm like a 2-year customer. And they're telling me now. They just told me that they've got customers for 20, 30 years, and it's a big dealer. It's a big AD, but basically, I just think it's whatever they can tell me to put me off for a month, and I
Well, they
basically
can tell you whatever they want. It's not like you have any way of checking up on them, frankly.
But you've bought 5 from yours, and I've bought 5 from mine. And I think that, look, the average person has 0 Rolex, let alone 1 or 2.
Well, okay. Let me be devil's advocate. So the AD would probably be like, hey, buddy, we've given you 5 of these watches that everyone else is dying for and no one else gets their hands on. Quit being such a crybaby. You're in. We've given you big favors above everybody else, so shut the fuck up.
Right, and that's exactly right. He's telling me I've gotten a black GMT and a red Sea Dweller, and all these watches that I'm thinking are just below what everybody really wants, but they're just above.
And maybe you are getting your fair share of what you're supposed to, because 5 in 2 years is pretty good, right?
Right, and I'm getting like that. What I thought was like the middle of the road, hard to get, but not this. I'm not getting the super hard to get like the Pepsi and the Back Girl, So that type of stuff I have to go out on my own and get, pay higher price if I want. So.
Yeah, he should be getting you that Pepsi, man.
Yeah. Pepsi told me about 4 months ago that it shouldn't be too far out, but now he's just basically gave me the whole big spiel about 9 to 10 months now, but also here's a red Sea Dweller. So it's just whatever they want to sell you, basically, and if you'll buy it, then they'll sell it to you.
Tanzil, the 5167 is a cool watch. When I went to Patek, the reason why I got the 5167 is because I basically went there and I wanted a steel watch from them. And I had 2 choices, Aquanaut or Nautilus. And I just felt the Nautilus was a little bit of a stuffier, older person's watch. And I just wanted to go with the more sporty mover watch. And that's what I felt when I looked at them both. I didn't get to see them at all in the store, but that's what I felt, the vibe of each one. One was a little bit more of a person who's more active, and the other one it's going to be a much more reserved watch. So I wanted the one that I was going to probably get to wear more often, and wear more often. I want to wear it.
You'll love the rubber, and here's the thing. Patek, basically, it's just like convinced all of us that a steel luxury watch and a rubber bracelet is true luxury.
Well, and I told this to Rich, Clive, but I took the 5167 to New York last week, and I wore it for 48 hours, and nobody even noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought the Batman, and I wore that for the next 48 hours, and people look at it all. I mean, literally, it brought so much more attention than the Aquanaut. It was ridiculous. and I was amazed at that.
For sure.
I guess just the steel bracelet, I guess maybe popped a little bit more. I don't know.
Rolex looks like the Rolex sports bezels on those new modern watches.
But let's be honest. Do we really care what the great unwashed thinks? We're not really doing it for, unless of course they're really attractive and have big boobs.
Right, exactly. Which, and if you're married, that sucks anyway. But
so, it still matters. We just can't say that it does.
Right, exactly. We can't act like it does. But no, I mean, yeah, it really, you really don't care. You're still wearing it, and you're still happy about that. So
well, yeah, and because my offshore with that Royal Oak breast bracelet,
that's gotta attract attention.
Yeah, but it almost looks like a big old kid's fashion watch.
Because it's so big and loud, you mean, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but see, I love anything KP puts out, but I know what you're saying there. Yeah.
And again, the two-tone. When I had my purple sub and the two-tone Yachtmaster, it caught a lot of attention, and usually it was, "Hey, nice Invicta."
Yeah, I've gotten the Invicta comment more than once, and they weren't trying to be funny. They really thought it was Invicta.
No, however, the Patek Philippe pilot watch, I do love saying to Mark Yusupov and the rest, "Hey, nice Zenith."
That's Mark's favorite Patek.
Well, yeah, but they totally ripped off the Zenith pilot watch. I'm sorry, but
sure. Yeah, you might as well, for that money, you might as well just get the Zenith and enjoy that as the pilot watch. It's a beautiful watch, but gosh, I mean, there's other things I would get from Patek before I buy that one for the money.
Okay, Hisham Habib, can someone please explain to me why people are spending gold prices on steel watches?
That's what my dad always asks me. He can't believe that.
Well, because traditionally, Rolex is a sports watch, and the difference in functionality between a steel watch and a two-tone and a gold, it's all the same. It does all the same thing, the same movements, the same bracelets, da-da-da-da-da. So traditionally, steel has always been a better buy, and as such, more desired, quite frankly, doing more for less. But it's almost inversely now become a status symbol because Rolex wants to push the precious metals in the two-tones. So now steel has become basically showing that, you've got the deep pockets or you've got the major ends with the AD. And, and again, at the FP Journe, you can get, the Bleu is the base model watch. On the other end, the Sovereign is a higher tiered watch, but it's available a lot easier and also at a discount for MSRP, while the base Bleu is going for off the charts, which is silly. But I also think it's Jesus Christ.
It's wanting what you can't have.
The demand and the supply and demand on the steel.
And see, I don't know. See, in a lot of ways, I almost think it's like, what kind of collector are you? I would, to say that I want what everyone else has, and I either have deeper pockets or I have more of an in, there's no, I'd rather be the guy who got there, found something else and got there first. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like that little Universal Geneva I picked up?
No, not that. Fuck that. No, exactly. And the thing is,
no.
And what gets me, and I know I've gone off on this a couple of times, but everyone complains about the Hodinkee effect, right? Hodinkee will latch onto something and say, "This is really cool. This is really nice," and then the prices shoot up through the roof, and everyone complains.
Right.
Well, did you guys see the guy from Shark Tank the other day when he done his thing? He had the AP, the code 1159, and he was having the red strap put on it, and so he basically just wanted that because nobody else had it, and he had Rubber B fit a strap to it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically.
I'd respect that for someone who just got who just wanted the same Royal Oak that everyone else wanted.
Right.
He's got a nice collection there.
Yeah. Well, the 1159, but so far, I mean, I could not sit through his goddamn video. I'm sorry, it's 20 minutes. It's like he's a better, he doesn't repeat himself. I'll put it that way. Or
no, I kind of skipped through it, and I kind of stopped after he started with the paint. So I couldn't watch it all the way through either. But I did like how he went with the red Rubber B strap just to be different, and it was the only one in America, or only one in the world, I think, at that point. And he connected with Rubber B to do that. So
okay,
I didn't know that.
Throwing that Rubber B red strap on every single one of his watches.
He does do that.
It's kind of going to be his trademark, Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, and also it doesn't irrevocably damage the watch. So, he's got the original bracelet sitting in a drawer somewhere.
Right.
Yep, and that's exactly what he said. So
now, Jamie Weiss
doing that too.
Who?
I want that red rubber strap on one of my watches. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm going to try it on one of them. I'm not sure which one yet.
See, I wouldn't be surprised. Does he have like an ownership stake in Rubber B or something like that? I wouldn't be surprised.
He said he didn't. In the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it said, "I'm not an investor. This is not a plug for Rubber B." He said, "I just like to, I like to align myself with people that I think are going to be successful." So, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got some type of ownership in it. But they also cater to him, and they make straps, to fit his watches in his color and whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think the red Rubber B strap on the Daytona, ceramic Daytona, might look pretty cool, like he has it on either color Daytona, whether it's a white or a black dial. I think it would look pretty cool. I might go for that.
But it just. But we're talking about the Hodinkee effect, though, and you've got some people that bitterly complain. Well, this used to be an affordable watch, then Hodinkee plugged it, and now we can't afford them anymore. And to emphasize this, I have zero pity upon those people, because guess what? Those vintage watches were always there. And had you not waited on Hodinkee to tell you it was cool, if you just went with your gut and got one, you probably could have got one for a few $100.
Sure.
But because you followed the herd, you're paying the price. I mean, so, and again, the Nautilus is going for insane money, even toward the fact that even the other watch nerds are saying, they don't think it's worth nearly what it's commanding. It's just simply everyone just glomming onto the same thing, a fad. But the trouble is, though, if you ride trail on the herd, you're going to do nothing but eat dust and smell shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's also the way to look at it. If you're a holder of several vintage watches, you're loving the Hodinkee effect. If you're not a holder and you want it to be now, kind of like me, I guess you're kind of bummed. I mean, I stayed away from the vintage market all the time, so I might be kind of a little bummed that Hodinkee has done that.
Well,
but at the same time, a whole awareness of watches for them to put that out, it's cool,
Yeah, but the thing is, of course, the Royal Oak, of course, Nautilus. Now the Royal Oak is also just almost as crazy to get, but I still think the overseas, and it may not be directly, but it's like Gerald Genta's great grandkid or something like that, or great nephew, in the IWC Ingenieur. I think those are going to start taking off next.
IWC Ingenieur, and what else?
The overseas.
the overseas, the VC, the Genta-looking reference models.
Well, they're okay. Now, keep in mind, yeah. Now, I think, and I've talked about this, and I was corrected. They said no, it was Genta inspired.
Okay.
Now, I kind of think the IWC Ingenieur was Genta, or am I wrong on that one?
I think you're right. Certainly looks like it.
But okay, and here's it. And okay.
So in January, the AP 15400, you could buy it for 17. Now it's 22. And right now you can buy the overseas for about 15. And you think they're going to be the next one to pop up around 20, go up to about $5,000 or so?
Man, VC soft. Nobody's looking at VC.
I like VC.
I don't know.
Beautiful. I really think they're nice. I've been looking at them, but
well, okay. I'm just looked up just watch time, of course, online from the National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors. And I'd like to say, if you ever say that acronym out loud, I'd like to urge you to say it very slowly and carefully. But they're talking about if you think you're just going to stumble through it, it's not going to end out well. But they're talking about the Royal Oak. The Bulgari is actually a Genta design. And the third one is the IWC Ingenieur.
Later blue shirt.
Also, the Omega. He redesigned the Omega Constellation, and then the fifth one is the Nautilus. But the funny part is that I was looking at or actually I've got like a couple of Constellation 3000, Seamaster 3000. No, oh shit, Omega Seamaster 3000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Integrated bracelet, and I thought, I was thinking, obviously at the time they must have been Omega was trying to like copy off what Genta was doing. But a couple of real vintage heads basically got a hold of me, said, no, you got it completely the other way around. Those were out in the 60s for like 10 or 15 years before Gerald Genta introduced his designs. He simply got what was popular at the time. The integrated bracelets were popular, and he just got it and put his own little tweak on it and got the big boys to release versions of it.
Mm. Well, you hit it right on the spot, I guess.
He took
Something about it didn't trigger a watch craze about that style back then. Or was there a craze on the Genta style back then, a fade, and then it came back? Or did it only just start recently? I wonder that.
I think the Nautilus was initially not the most popular one, but they kept at it, and they eventually caught on. I think the Royal Oak was a little bit quicker. Now, actually, where the hell's Tanzil in the comments? Because he would probably have studied this a little bit more than I have. But to me, I think the overseas and the Ingenieur are going to be the next ones, assuming IWC and VC don't completely fuck it up.
Well, the one good thing you have about VC is that, oh, wait a minute, Vacheron, is that a Richemont company?
Yep. That's the downside.
You know,
for Richemont company, they kind of leave them alone more than most, but they're still pumping and dumping.
So
there's a lot of them on the market.
That might be the reason why there isn't a value retention on the VC, because Richemont owns them. If you look at all of the value retaining watches, they are all in-house. Rolex, Audemars Piguet, or Patek Philippe, FP Journe. They're all in-house makers.
Right. Now, there's actually speculation Genta may have been involved in the oyster quartz in the 70s, but Rolex won't neither confirm nor deny.
That oyster quartz bracelet watch does look very Genta-like.
Yeah,
They're
it does.
style, absolutely. Right.
It's because we're Rolex. We're above any particular designer.
Garage door.
You really have to be you really have to be almost a detective to find out if anyone had anything to do with any sort of Rolex design for any of the watches. Unless it was the old man Wilsdorf himself, they wanted to showcase it.
Garage door.
Maybe we could ask Mark's new
Spies?
spy. Yeah.
Say, I want to see Spy versus Spy.
How long do you guys think it's going to be before Mark flips his Grand Seiko? You think he's going to keep it?
I think it's about 6 weeks out. You can tell that he doesn't. You can tell that I mean, in my opinion, I think he still favors the Rolex over it quite a bit.
Well, yeah, no kidding. And the thing is, though, he's horological scrum snatching as well. If anything Rolex comes along, anything Submariner, he will snatch it up. Yeah.
But the first thing I said to him is about me not feeling the 6800 on my arm, in the Grand Seiko, and he said that was one of his worries. So I think that's going to be one of the deciding factors.
Now, on the other hand, the one I've got, 3900, hell yes.
Yeah, for half the price, that's a different deal.
I think I know Mark's style of watches, though, and that, with the balls, the Breitlings, his taste in the Rolex. I think that Grand Seiko fits in his watch box just perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's great. I think it does fit him.
But what has he got in the ball? Like 1500, or I don't think he's got as much in the balls.
George just say, as soon as the Hulk comes in, it's gone.
But you're more familiar with the quality of the Grand Seiko and the finish than I am. So, I mean, that's probably going to make him keep the watch, maybe, no?
I mean, it's a really good, it's the quality is amazing. It really is. But I don't think that in the end, I don't think that's going to make him keep it over. Like they just said, once the Hulk comes in, it's gone. I agree with that 100%.
No. The one I've got, the spoiled SBGW, I think if you've got a suit and tie guy or just an office guy, I actually think they could probably get away with that, with being, that as a one and done, maybe a G-Shock or something like that for the weekend.
Right.
On the yard.
For the gym or something. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you need to be pretty low key, you don't want to show Rolex at all. Some people in some places and some environments, they need to be that way, and that would be a good watch to keep low stealth.
Well, in the face and the dial of the one I've got, literally, it is quite reminiscent of a Calatrava.
Mm.
Yeah, they're not by no means like a. They're pretty snazzy looking. I mean, I had people looking at the Grand Seiko quite a bit, probably more than when I had the Aquanaut on. I ain't gonna lie. So they're pretty. They're shiny. They got a nice finish to them. They're shiny. So I've noticed people, they do look at your hand when you're because I talk with my hands. So, but I noticed that people do look at the Grand Seiko a lot. So it's just the finish, the quality of the finish.
Are you a puppeteer?
No, I just talk. Just talk a lot with my hands, and yeah, I do have to. I'm a salesman, so it does. It just happens, and I point a lot. But yeah, people do happen to notice it. Not anymore. I don't have it, but I noticed when I had it, they did.
That Grand Seiko that Tim was showing on the show today, it had like a red vignette dial or something. That was pretty snazzy looking. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, the dials are amazing. They really are.
That's what they got. They got the dials covered.
Yeah,
well,
they've got.
This is my personal theory about. That's not a Mac, but I was also thinking about Adrian's quartz. Here's what I kind of think. Why a lot of us hate quartz.
Why?
Because, well, and I've noticed in a lot of ways, I've got I'm very prejudiced watch wise. I've got these it's ingrained. It's like years of marketing and build.
It's political.
Well, but the thing is, like I said, if there's a day and a date at 3, there's something in my mind looks at it and says cheap watch. If, on the other hand, the day is at noon and the date is at 3, that same part says, ooh.
Yeah.
And I can't believe and the thing is, we've always, date at noon and the date at 3 is Rolex. Day and date is like lower tier Seiko.
Well, yeah, the ETAs have all the ETAs are side by side with the chronographs up, down, and to the left.
Right.
Well,
now I think it's similar though, because when quartz first came out, it was a revolutionary. It was a marvel. It's like here this is, it doesn't need nearly the maintenance. You might have a change of battery, but you won't have to take it to a watchsmith, and it will run for years, years and years with a little bit of maintenance. Don't leave the battery in there, and it will be more accurate than the best made mechanical watch. And again, Seiko is one of the ones that kind of
touted that, yeah.
With it. But even Rolex was looking at, of course, oyster quartz, and even the higher tier brands was at first experimenting with it first, saying, well, maybe we need to go into this. But eventually, quartz, they got better and better at the manufacturing process, and they could make the movements cheaper and cheaper, and to where quartz watches became, to me, associated with cheap watches, almost disposable watches.
That's a very good description, analytical analysis of the subject. Sure, very good. I agree with that. That's part of my sentiment exactly.
And isn't that watch that he's got like 2,800? Isn't that what? I think I seen that he said it was like 2,800.
Which one?
Adrian's watch, that the GMT, the Grand Seiko.
And there are differences in quality and manufacturing and dedicated design in quartz, like there is in all electronics. But if anyone could do electronics, let's face it, it's the Japanese, and do it well. But what's a quartz movement on a Grand Seiko is probably not the same one that you used to be able, when I was a kid, you could find pinning 25 or 50 cents in a gumball machine.
Now I wonder how the quartz technology of Seiko, Grand Seiko, is compared to the FP Journe quartz technology, because from what I understand, FP Journe wanted to sit down and he never even looked at any other quartz models. I think he invented it from scratch, from a drawing board, without looking at anybody else's model, so he created it himself. Pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, and it's if he's a true genius, then it could be something that no one ever thought of. It could be another wonder of the age. If he's not, then let's face it, hundreds of electrical engineers sitting at drafting tables for 50 years might come up with a better result.
And I agree with Fat Elvis. I appreciate precision, but they don't have a soul. And to me, I don't need to be plus or minus 30 seconds, to be honest. I don't even need to be plus or minus 30 minutes in most cases. But I need that. I want that tick-tock, that mechanical workings of the watch. That's the whole attraction to it, is the mechanical.
Here's the funny part is some of the most accurate watches I've got are the 6498s.
6498s.
Yeah, Unitas, then later ETA movements.
Okay.
They're probably like a century old. Their watches anywhere from like 42 to 45 millimeters. They originally started as a pocket watch movement, and they were just adapted into larger wristwatches. manual wind, and those things. I mean, I haven't come across one of those yet that wasn't as accurate as even a modern Rolex. Now, keep in mind, it probably doesn't have the magnetic resistance. It probably doesn't have the impact resistance, but for like, and it's a lot bigger of a movement. But if you just want to talk about accuracy, not to mention they even run at a slower speed for Pete's sake.
A 6498.
Yeah.
You're saying, and that's a mechanical movement.
Yes.
For me, it comes down to if we're in the area where Adrian was at 2,500 for a quartz. That's one thing, but I would never ever give $10,000 or something like that for a quartz movement. So if it, it's a whole other region.
Now my AD, the new Wattsmith, came just literally back from Rolex training. He's going back for refresher training. But one of the things he was talking about is like oyster quartz. He's like, I don't, basically he's hinting, I don't know if I would hold on to that. I don't know how much longer I'll be supported, in other words.
Right. Well, right now there's an oyster quartz. What are they? They're going for about, there's one on Delray Watch for 3,600. But I mean, you just love that, don't you? The ones that you got two of them, don't you, Clive?
Bite your tongue. Hell no. No. I've got one oyster quartz, but the rare birds.
The rare birds, that's right.
Yeah, those are the older automatic movements that they stuck in the cases.
Gotcha.
And they figured the cases were ready and the bracelets were ready before the movements were. So Rolex said, well, let's release these and see if people like them or not. So the two-tone, which is a 36 date just, is so rare that it's called the rare bird.
Right.
The 1530, which is the same size but just in solid steel, it's just called a date, even though it's also 36.
What's the rare bird again? I'm sorry.
The 1630. But the 1530, on the other hand, is even rarer. They said that Rolex only made 1,500 of them.
Okay, so this is
so it's basically the same style, Rich. From what I gather, it's the same. It's everything is the same as the oyster quartz, except for it's automatic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also the movement's not as thick, so there's an inner chapter ring. You'll know
this watch here.
Yes, that's 1630.
And this is called a rare bird.
Yes.
And what was the reason it's called a rare bird again?
They didn't make it for a very long amount of time. They didn't make a lot of them. They made them just to basically try out, see if people like the bracelets. They took the older, that's all right. That's one's had some wear on it. look at the pins about ready to stick through the holes.
And boy, if anything looks like Genta, if anything Rolex looks like Genta, it's them.
Yep. Now, also,
I like that.
Oh yeah. Now you'll notice here. Go back to the bracelet. You'll notice there's 3 gold center links in the 1630, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oyster quartz only has 2. So since these are a lot rarer, an unscrupulous jeweler will basically take those out, sell them separately. Do a total Tristan from Leo and Ferris, and slap an oyster quartz bracelet on if they have one lying around to sell. Try to palm that off as authentic.
Nice.
On one of these mechanical watches?
Yes. No, the bracelet.
Bastards.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Now go look up the 1530.
$1530.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see the images here. It's loading.
Yeah, I'm looking at the oyster quartz right now, and he's right. You could probably pass that that 2 center link off of on that watch, no problem.
Now okay, there we go. Yeah, that's a good picture right there. Now the Rolex 1530. Do you remember the original Apple Think Different posters where they had Pablo Picasso and so forth?
Yep.
John Huston. You've heard of John Huston, right?
Yep.
Well, he was wearing a 1530 in that one as well. That was his watch. Those suckers are really rare.
What is that we're looking at?
That's a 1530.
So it's just a mechanical watch that they made for a little while. It's a date just, and they don't make it anymore.
It's a date, but yeah, it's the same size as the 1630, but the two-tone was the date just. The all steel was the date for reasons that no one understands.
And just glancing at that from that other picture that you had, that really looked like a 15400 to me, an AP. Right there, that picture.
There's speculation that if Gerald didn't design it, it was based. They based it, but I can't see Rolex copying a design.
Look at that bracelet, huh?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Oh yeah, look at that bracelet.
And what?
I like the inner dial. It's like it's like a roller rink, a roller derby rink, or a racetrack. Look at that side dial. The side of the inside of the dial. Chapter ring is amazing.
What color dial is on your steel one, Clive?
It's steel. It's probably silver or maybe yellowed, slightly yellowedish.
Patina a little bit.
Now, see, what caught my attention about these is that this is back in my Uberoki apprenticeship days, but literally just going around like the NAWCC big convention in Arlington. And I was telling him, it's like, that's the weirdest goddamn thing. It looked like an oyster quartz, but it wasn't ticking. And at which point he's like, what? I said, it looked like an oyster quartz, but it wasn't ticking. And so at which point he basically shut everything down. And he said, take me exactly to where you saw that.
Oh, how funny. This is on Hodinkee. I just realized that. Sold out. 6,600.
And the reason why it's not more money is two things. Number one, it's 36. Number two, it's a date or date just. It's not a sports model. But more importantly, number three, it's relatively unknown.
Look, I got to tell you, this watch right here, if I was in the market for a date just right now, I'd be buying this instead.
But these are a lot more expensive than the oyster quartz, ain't they, Clive?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, how much are they now? I mean, this was 6,600 on Hodinkee. What are they now?
Maybe about 10. They're starting to catch up a little bit, but not, considering how rare they are, not really as much as you'd think I think they should be.
And probably will be.
So, and again, when I had my Stickergate hissy fit, I took my money from that and I got the 1530 and the 1630.
I'm going to put a search in here for that Rolex 1530. Curious now.
Not a lot. I don't think you're going to find a lot of them.
Well, the Chrono 24 site's down.
Go to Watch Recon.
I've never been to Watch Recon. I've never been to this site.
Okay, go down to brands. Go across to brands and hit Rolex, and then just type 1530. And this is like, this comes forums and everything else. This is what nerds sell them to each other. This is what we sell them to each other for.
Oops. Oh, my 5. My 5 is sticky.
Huh,
And
not a
you,
lot of them, huh?
you still have both of them, don't you, Clive?
Well, hell yeah, and the oyster quartz.
And the oyster, right?
What is this here? This is no. There we go. 1530. Is that what? No, yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
1530. So there you go. There's. I guess they're over here. $8,000. This one says 65. This one says 83. And these two down here are 75 and 85.
And like Clive said, that's just what we're selling them to each other for. Is that what site is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Watch Recon.
This is a good place to list a watch.
Well, Watch Recon, it's like it combs forums. So if you wanted to look in like what you want or what you seek and Rolex forums and so forth and so on.
Oh, I see. It combines them or something. Okay.
Combs them, yes.
Hey, you see how on this one, the stainless steel has like a dirty look to it up there at the top of the bezel? What is
Yep.
that? Will that come out? And what is that? Why is it like that? It's steel. Why does it get black like that?
It could just be patina. It could be just schmutz they haven't done a good job cleaning it with.
Yeah. I wonder if you apply some kind of if a jeweler applies any kind of an acid wash to that to get that out or something. I don't know what they do. I was wondering.
Possibly. But see, what I like about these is like, and again, the people that really know, it's like, how Archie said that the Submariner 2 line is the Submariner for the purist.
Uh-huh.
I kind of feel the same way about these.
That's cool. Getting one in with a bracelet in great condition would be pretty
Impossible, I would think.
no, I just think it's important. That's probably what
I think they could.
higher price
I think they could still. Now, here's the thing: you don't have to worry about getting them ripping it off and putting a service dial on it.
Look at this one; it's clean, right?
Yeah.
So if you pay a little bit more money, you'll get a clean one. This guy wants 8,200. It's probably worth it. I mean, why save $1,000 when that's what a service would cost in the future? You might as well get a better condition one now.
Yep.
That will hold better value.
Well, I'm kind of like that. To me, if the condition is, which I think most people are.
Buy the best condition you can afford.
Yep.
Yep.
And keep it in that same condition.
And if more people knew about these, you think they're expensive now? Jesus Christ!
Right. Wouldn't take.
That looks nice.
Has Houdinki got on and talked about these at all, or is this?
They have a little bit. Of course, Houdinki had the one for sale.
This is it right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take much for these to shoot up. One celebrity wearing them or something.
It looks like it says right here that they manufactured 1,000 of them with a famous Beta 21 movement. What's a Beta 21 movement? Oh, the quartz trend.
Quartz, yeah.
Oh, this is a quartz one right here. Oh, wait. This is a reference 1530 with a mechanical movement. I got you. Futuristic look, but traditional brain. So this is copy.
Meanwhile, they had already built the perfect case to house such a revolutionary calendar. Yeah.
I got you.
So in other words, and they built it with the 1530 movement, which they had been doing for years, and which is actually, some people say it's one of their best automatic, it's one of their first, and some people say it's one of their best movements.
it says at the bottom in the very last sentence, total production is estimated below 1,500 examples.
Yep.
1977. Nice. I really dig this one. This is a cool watch. This would be a great vintage piece to have as a Rolex in the collection without having to pay an arm and a leg for one.
Well, yeah, for somebody like me too, who's afraid of vintage, but I'm.
Well, here's the nice thing. Here's the nice thing.
It's a
There
Rolex.
are no replicas. If you see it out there, all you have to do is count the middle links if it's the two-tone, and then it's out. Yeah, there are zero. It is so unknown. Even
Right.
yeah, you didn't even copy it.
You better make sure it fits you too.
No, you can actually get the links.
Oh, okay.
I had a spacer. Then I took my 1630, and then I took it to my ED. And of course, that the watchmaker was oohing and awing over it. Said, "Oh my, yeah." And so, yeah, he said, it'll take us a week or two, but we'll get it in. And they got it in, fit the link in, and I took the spacer out.
And what did you say about the dial, Clive? They won't do a service dial on them, right?
No, because they have no more service dials for them.
They don't have them. Yeah.
This is a vintage steel stunner.
You might have better luck with finding a 1630. But yeah. But even the 1630 is called the rare bird.
Right. And I've heard that one.
What's the difference exactly again between this and the 1630?
Just
One's two-tone, the other one's steel.
Oh yeah, right. The two-tone with the 3 links. Okay. Yeah. No, I prefer a steel one. Is this one more or less expensive than the two-tone?
I'd say more classic, and it looks more. I think it looks a little bit more Genta-esque as well.
It does.
Is this one going for more money?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is more
You
than
mean the one that they? Let's see. You mean the one that they only made 1,500 or less? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the other one they made a lot more of, the 1630.
Comparatively more of.
Okay.
Because as we know, Rolex loves their two-tone watches. That didn't just start in 2015, kids.
Well, then at what is that? 8,500. That seems like a pretty good deal to me.
And you might be able to go and watch. And now, let me try watch Recon myself, or a Homo 24.
I'll present your screen, Clive.
Okay, yeah, we'll put it on my screen. I got bandwidth out the. Yeah, I mean, it may not show on the camera, but I've got bandwidth out the ass in this new place. Okay. Screen share. Can you see me now?
Yep, you can see a few of them now.
Yep.
The prices went up since these are more money.
Rolex. Austin Daniels, I hope you're not watching.
57,000. It's a little high for a vintage Rolex.
Now, there's not a lot of them in America, is there? Didn't look like. I didn't see
15,000 in that German one. There you go, 9,000 up above there.
Yep, and they're a little bit more expensive over here because America.
Oh, so why is this one more expensive than the one we just looked at? Oh, this is the 1530. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. UK watch, of course, you might have to pay an import tax. That's America. So on Chrono 24, how many are available in the US? 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's different dial colors.
Slightly, yeah. Now these are probably original, and that's probably a replacement.
Stick to what looks more normal, safer. Maybe.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way: get the best condition you can find. It on 1530, this watch is made like 76, 77. If your dial was replaced in 1989, I think you're good.
Yeah.
Let's go Rolex 1630 and see how much those are going for.
Look like all the examples there, them four was all in good
Oh,
shape.
and 13 of these.
You get 17 total.
And again, integrated. You still get the links for it. You have to go to a Rolex 80, but they still have them, believe it or not. But if you get away with the 36,
I mean, $5,400 isn't bad at all. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not into the two-tone. That steel one is pretty nice looking.
sweet.
Yeah. You have a 1530?
Yes.
Nice. Congratulations.
Well, here's the funny part is that I have to hand Brad Orchard, my local guy, because he was one of the things, and one of the things also one of my local tricks is sometimes you got to look at the local listings with shitty photography, because it's someone authentic that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And then Brad was like, hey, you know that one in Fayetteville? Didn't it look like a 1530? With the shitty picture. I looked at it again. I said, son of a fucking bitch. Thanks, Brad.
Nice.
But what's kind of nice about those is that it's nice to have a set of them, I'll be honest.
Yes, it's got to be. You got both of them, so I wouldn't separate them.
No, and let's see, 30
watches from that period come with boxing papers from the 1970s, or not genuinely usually?
Generally not. Now, my 1630 came with a box, but they misplaced the papers because guess what? The papers did not fit in the box.
Now, again, if you wanted some type of papers, you just go in and get to a Rolex and get an insurance. I think it's $110.
Or have it serviced. That one would be a safe one to have serviced.
It'd be cheaper though, just to get the insurance, though, wouldn't it? If you didn't need it serviced, I mean.
Yeah, if you didn't need it serviced, that is correct. But yeah. On the other hand, if you had the car, could you imagine how they'd be like? You sent up to the service center and they came back with a card with Rolex 1630. Yeah, I think it'd be cool shit just to have the fucking card on it.
Just to have it. Yep.
Well, I tell you, I'm sitting. I changed my lighting above me to. I have an incandescent light bulb above me now, and I'm wearing the Omega, and that transitional. That's that applied logo. Really catches the light. Yeah, catches the light. And not only that, the step dial. You can really see the step dial reflecting as well. So, what a difference that makes to realize that's there.
Is the patina showing up or no?
Not under low light, no. But I think if you're out in the day light, you're going to see it a little bit. But may give it another 15 years, and maybe that other dot will catch up, right?
There you go. Then your balls will both be the same color. Just like mine, blue.
So after Sticker Guide, I took that money and I ended up getting the 1530 and the 1630. And people are like, oh my God, you're so fucked up. On the other hand, hindsight, I think I'd rather have those than the Batman, to be honest.
Yeah, I would too. And together they went up as much collectively. Together they did. So
I don't know. I mean, if you have the one that hardly no one knows about, that no one has, and you know about it and other people don't, what means more to you, that or just having something that everyone knows about that's just worth more money than you paid?
I'm not sure, but I know that I'm personally enjoying and going to enjoy this Omega Speedmaster.
Oh, that's a lovely goddamn piece. Congratulations, man.
I'm playing
I think that's
right now.
And I think right now in the current market, that's probably the second best deal on a Speedmaster that I've heard of.
To me, I just think it's whatever makes you feel good, whatever you like, and
Exactly.
whatever you appreciate the most.
You know, I wasn't looking for this watch at all. It wasn't on my list at all, and I'm not a fan of a Speedmaster. I've never done one. I never was interested in one. As watching Archie for a couple of years, Man on the Moon, never got me to buy one. And I was looking for a Zenith Daytona two-tone, and I was looking for a Pepsi GMT. And I stumbled across this, and when I read about it and then out a couple of articles about it, what it was.
Okay, but when you saw it at first, was it like cha-ching, or was it like ooh?
Yeah, no, I didn't know. There was no cha-ching factor because I didn't have any idea what I was looking at, other than
that you were just totally in lust for it, right?
It said transitional, so that caught my attention. And when the first article I read about transitional, and then it started pulling me in when it started saying certain things were more rare, more harder to find. And as I'm looking at the watch on the side picture, it has everything. It's checking off every box of the article. And I realized this watch is exactly the one that in the article is talking about. With the exception of the gray-blue dial. That's the only thing better it could have been, was a gray-blue dial.
When I go vintage now, Rich, I think I know right where I'm going. 1530. You might even be able to get a deal on one if a deal on one at like 8,000. But I really like the looks of that.
Yeah, sometimes just do a search for old Rolex or
Right.
But actually that watch is your style watch too. I think when I look at your watch box, it's your style.
Yeah, I really like them, and I trust the Rolex name as far as serviced.
And the movements are tanks.
Right.
They're they're one of the first automatic ones, and some people say it's still one of the best movements Rolex ever made.
Right. And just knowing that you can bring it in there and get it serviced if you need to, that makes a big difference to me.
They'll probably never run out of those damn parts.
Right.
It's a movement that's no longer being used.
They got parts for it.
Okay. Yeah, they made that movement for so long though, and put it in so many watches. And also, even if you've got a watchmaker or a watchsmith, an old independent, they probably have most of the ports for that hidden away in their drawers of their bench drawers. I'll put it that way, not their underwear.
Right.
What do you think, guys? We should wrap it up?
I think so. It's kind of nice. So it's kind of, oh my God, I got on a live stream. We got to talk about watches. Yay.
Yeah, that's good. Right. That's what we'll mostly be about. Mostly. Cool.
Yep. I enjoyed it. I got to learn something.
Me too.
Good.
Yeah, that was nice.
Thanks, Clive.
Thanks, Bud Dastud. And Rich, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on, Clyde. Thank you. You too, Bud. You too, Bud. Thank you.
Can't see the live stream.
And all of you guys out there too. Thank you for being here, part of it too. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next time. All right. Good night. Thank you.
Did you thank him enough?